Yo, 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 what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Bitcoin losing that important 50-day EMA. Let's get straight into it over here. And yeah, in my opinion, it's not looking very good. So this was a key level lost for the zone over here. Going to highlight that for you guys over there. Basically, what that was, it was lost yesterday from the daily close. There was obviously an ascending support over here. My bad. So we had the ascending support from April. This basically governed the trend to the upside, a few bounces along the way. And we did actually lose this ascending support over here. Yesterday, we closed below there. And what we do like to wait for are 3 daily candles close below the level in a row. So we have yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So by the end of this week, we should know if we are losing the uptrend. Which in my opinion, we could see a bit of a correction for a few weeks, maybe into September, which is all part of the plan, guys. Huge move to the upside. We cashed out. I have closed my long position. I did not like us losing the 50-day EMA. So what I'm seeing over here, guys, is a bit of a pullback. If I invert the chart, okay, if I invert the chart, I would long this. Okay, I would definitely long this. This is a classic breakout pattern. I get above the 50-day EMA and off we go. So since it's inverted, this is technically a short, in my opinion. I'm not going to short the market because I just see a little bit of a pullback. I don't see a massive trending move to the downside. So that is why I do not short at this point in time. But I'm very happy to close my longs. So my longs are closed. I've closed the Bitcoin long, I've closed the Solana long, the Ether long. I'm going to go into all those charts now. But if you guys are looking for a Bitcoin short in the midterm, I'd wait for the end of the week and maybe short towards the start of next week. I would like to wait for the confirmation because we could get a push up and a close and then off we go. It can literally take a daily candle for us to get back above this important level over here. So this was the level to hold. We did lose that level. We were holding it over the weekend. And then Monday, Tuesday, now we're below. But if we do close above by the end of the week, then it will be good. So I'd be waiting, sitting on my hands until the end of the week, guys. So I'd just be watching this week go by before making a decision. So what we have is a potential short situation. And that short would look something like this. If you do want to short, you could short the zone over here throughout the week. Stop loss, I'd put my stop loss at about that 100 and call it 120K over there. And then you can be targeting, even 100K, something like that. This is what your short would look like, your 4-to-1 risk to reward. If we do back test these zones again. But what I want to see is for a retest of this 50% level, maybe a push up and then short the zone back down. That is a potential swing trade to the downside. Personally, I am sitting on my hands for the rest of the week. I'm going to wait this out because we haven't lost key levels, guys. The only key level we've lost is the 50-day EMA. The 382 is a good place to get a strong bounce from if you are in a strong trending move. So because we have now lost this 382, what you look down towards is the 50% level. And that 50% level is coming in at 111.4K. So this zone is untapped, and that zone will also take out all the liquidity over here. So definitely watch out for the zone. I'm sure a lot of people that got into this move would have their stops below there. So this is a very high chance of being tested, guys. So watch out for this level. I do think we can get a bounce. It also lines up very nicely with all these old tops over here. So definitely a high chance of getting a back test over there. And, if you also have a trend line to the side like that, you could come and test this resistance over there. So watch out for the zone over here. Let's call it 110K. I do think we can easily test 110K. So let's see what happens for Bitcoin. Otherwise, we're still in a strong position above 111,400. If we do lose that, then we can see a move to the downside. And from a macro point of view, This has obviously been a big move up. If I take these lows here, we obviously got long from here. We rode this whole move up. We've done incredibly well. If you take this low over here to this high that we've just created over here, what's very interesting to note is that the halfway point comes in at 100K. So here we go. This is a great target for a short. So if you are looking for a short, this is where your target will be. This 100K zone over here, we could easily test 100K. It would start to look quite scary, you know, close below the 200, everyone calling for the top to be in, blah, blah, blah. This would be a target for your take profits. So let's see what happens, guys. But this does look double toppy. If we do lose this key level over here, then I would look down to potentially seeing that Bitcoin underneath the 100K. And that would be a great buying opportunity, guys. It obviously means that you know, the crypto market will be coming down. We'll have a look at Bitcoin dominance now as well. But these are potential scenarios and potential targets. One thing I'll look at now quickly is the Bitcoin fear and greed. Sorry, the ad block is not on at the moment. But what you can see is that we are now in fear 44. So this is a good reset, a good psychological reset. So watch out for this. If we do come to that 30 mark, then we can be going into some long positions over there. Also, what's interesting to note is the crypto monthly exchange volume over here. What you can see is July, we hit 1.77 trillion, and August we're at 1.12 trillion. So what I would like to see is for August to close above July. That would be a positive sign. And I would expect the run to continue to the upside if that does happen. But if we do close below, then this could be a potential local top. It has actually, you know, marked the top in a few situations before. Otherwise, today we do have the FOMC meeting minutes, so there could be some volatility at 8 p.m. my time tonight. So watch out for these levels, guys. We have basically covered Bitcoin at the moment. Solana, quite similar to Bitcoin, however, it's still holding its uptrend over here. So since April, we're still holding this level over here. Still above the 50-day EMA as well, testing it as support. So this is a valid long position. I did bail out of my Solana trade just because of how Bitcoin is reacting. I do think Bitcoin can bring the whole market down. We all know that it can do that. ETH got a nice dump from almost hitting $5,000 to coming to that $4,000 region over there. We did speak about ETH coming back to this zone over here, which it has now come into perfectly. And this is where you would expect a bounce. This is a classic SR flip. So it was resistance, resistance, resistance. And then obviously the fourth time going through the resistance is a breakout. You normally get 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth time is a breakout. Now, of course, we are just testing that zone as support. So what I want to see is something like that. What you could see from today is a inverse hammer candle, something like this. If we close like this today, I'm going to be quite bullish. This often happens at the bottom. We do get fear in the market. We do get a bearish looking candle, but it is often a bullish sign. So definitely watching out for this, guys. I think ETH at about 4,000. This kind of is the line in the sand. What we don't want to see is that. That's what we don't want to see. Come below the zone over here, get below the 50-day EMA, and it will start to be looking a little bit ugly for Ethereum. But let's see, guys. For now, long and strong. Let's get rid of that over there. So watch out for this over here. I am expecting support. I do think ETH is a better buy at the moment than Bitcoin. XRP coming nicely into this 50% level over here. It's a solid level, in my opinion, to be accumulating XRP. What you can see here is top extended to the side. We have tested this as support a few times, of course. So now this could be another test over there. Resistance, resistance, flipped it, support. So now potentially testing it as support again. We have outlined the zone a few times. I'm no longer in the XRP long, so a XRP re-entry at the zone would be decent in my opinion, and there's an obvious stop. If you start to close candles below this 2.73 zone, which is quite close to price now, you can expect a potential move down to $2 for $2.46. So watch out. We have lost the 50-day EMA, but we're still above the 50% level. So XRP is still looking good, but if we do lose the zone over here, it might start to look a little bit more scary for XRP. So watch out for the zone over here. Very important that we do get a strong bounce off here. Otherwise, if you are a conservative trader, you can just wait for the breakout of this descending resistance. That has worked a charm. Okay, Bitcoin dominance obviously still looking bearish. Got the death cross over there, closing multiple daily candles below the 50% level. If we do get above the 50.34%, we could see a move up to the EMAs, but I do think it's going to be resistance. So I do see altcoins outperforming Bitcoin for the rest of the year. So keep that in mind, guys. Keep that in mind. Definitely keep that in mind. Obviously bearish, guys. Bearish market structure. Took out the low. Took out this low as well. Lower highs. Rejection off the EMAs to the downside. So that is bearish. USDT dominance is starting to show some signs of strength. Obviously a little bit of a bullish divergence off this low over here. We did target the zone over here for potential bounce. I thought we'd come a little bit deeper in there, but that is not the case. What we don't want to see is a breakout of this descending resistance. So that's quite close to price right now. So we do want to see a bit of a rejection. So we'll most likely get a rejection from here. That is the high probability play. What you can see is we do have 1, 2, and then this would be the third touch point over here. So maybe this third touch point, we come down, maybe form a higher low over here before potentially breaking out to the upside. Let's see. But this can be treated as resistance, guys. This is a resistance zone, so you should treat it as resistance. Okay, otherwise the market is, just going sideways. Big pullbacks for some altcoins, of course. One token that is doing really well is actually Chainlink, despite everything being down today. Chainlink is actually up 5%. Obviously got a big dump yesterday, but this is starting to show strength, guys. I did close the rest of my Chainlink trade yesterday, but this is a token that's looking strong. And I would suggest, next time we do get a strong pullback, Chainlink is a great potential, guys. We are now above that macro 50% level at $20.5. So if we can just hold this level over here, maybe form a range in the zone over here, this would be a solid place to accumulate. If we do come and test $20.50, this is going to be a strong buy zone, in my opinion, for Chainlink. Chainlink is looking like one of the stronger tokens at the moment. It has been outperforming. And, since April, it's done incredibly well, up 164% since April. I do see Chainlink outperforming the majority of the markets for the remainder of the cycle. Otherwise, yeah, it is kind of bleak across the board at the moment. Not too much to update on. Personally just going to wait for this week to pass by and make a decision at the end of the week. Otherwise, if you are a scalp trader, you can see a little bounce off here. But I would definitely be waiting for the FOMC meeting minutes for some potential volatility. Otherwise, not too much to update on, guys. I'm going to be waiting for the rest of this week before making any decisions. But yeah, good luck out there. Definitely use low leverage. Low leverage is definitely recommended towards the end of the cycle. Otherwise, I'll see you guys on Friday. Cheers for now.